Hello, today I'm here with Prue Aja, one of Australia's leading branding photographer working with product and service-based businesses to establish a powerful online presence through high-impact imagery. Hi Prue, and thank you so much for joining me today. I have a few questions for you today, and I think it's going to be really informative for business owners, especially product-based business owners. So without further saying, I'm going to start. Prue,
Yes.
what is
Thanks for having me. Anyway.
What is branded product photography, just to start off, and what is lifestyle product photography? How does that help or transform a business?
Okay, cool. So branded photography is creating imagery of someone's product or the service they do that is really consistently in line with their existing branding. So say their logo, their colors, their website, and also, the pillars that they talk about on their social media as well. So it's branded, so it creates consistency and tells the whole story of the actual brand. When it comes to lifestyle photography, it's thinking about who the audience is that your product is for, and the lifestyle or the way your product is used in a lifestyle. So say it's like a greens healthy powder that you put into your smoothies. So you'll have lifestyle images of probably people in active wear, being outside, exercising, nature, bright light imagery, with fruit and showing different products that it can be used with. And that's creating more of the lifestyle imagery for it.
Yeah, which gives us a bit of more a feeling of how you were going to use the product, I guess. Is that what you're saying, right?
Yeah, so it evokes a feeling. So when you look at it, when you see someone making that green smoothie and they look healthy and vibrant, you go, oh, cool, I want to be healthy and vibrant too. And I'm going to buy that green powder.
Fantastic. And what do you recommend? Well, I guess you pretty much answered the question, but we see as well the product only on a white background or a color background as well, or in context. So the lifestyle, is there a better way to do, or do you need both, for example?
I think it's important to have both. So when someone comes onto your website, so firstly, they've probably seen the lifestyle photos on your Instagram or your Facebook ads. And then that's grabbed their attention and they've gone, okay, I want to learn more about this product. So then they go through to the website. There'll be a bit more lifestyle imagery, like on the banner and, maybe with the type of product it is. And then when you go to the specific product page, you want to show details like of the packaging or what the product looks like inside, or the stitches and seams on the clothes, or how it sits on a model. So I think it's really important to have both, and these days you want to have as much content as possible. So getting your e-commerce shots on the white or a colored background with the main focus being the detail, and then having the lifestyle images which you can feed through your Instagram and marketing.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. And do you think, does lifestyle photography work for any product?
Well, I haven't come across any that it hasn't worked for. Yeah, so I would say so. I'm trying to think of something that it wouldn't really work for. If there have been products in the past, I'm like, okay, how am I going to photograph this? What elements am I going to style it with to work with? So that's when all the planning comes in for the photo shoot, working out, what we want the vision for the brand to be and the outcome, and then aligning all the elements with that for the photo shoot.
Fantastic. And how can businesses align their lifestyle product photography with their branding? So if the brand perhaps have certain colors or elements, how can they align that?
Yeah, so when you do your branding, you obviously have your values, your vision and your mission for the brand. You know who your ideal audience or client is. So you've already kind of encompassed that. And from there, you can use those elements for your photography. So with the photography, the first thing you would do is create a vision board. So what you want the images to look like. And then you would want, like, so if your logo is quite elegant, then you want your photography to be really elegant and that to align that way. So firstly, like the style and the vibe of the actual brand, and then thinking about the colors. So definitely having consistent colors going through, and the style. So either it's going to be like really bright poppy colors, or it's going to be more, you know, if it's a designer watch or something, you're going to have more probably minimalist looking photos, and, you know, really classic styling with it.
Yeah, I can totally picture that in my mind already.
Yeah.
So, some businesses, especially in the fashion industry, I've noticed, they become the model. So I see a number of businesses doing that. They wear their own clothes, for example, and others hire a model. So what do you perceive to be more advantageous? Is there a benefit to one or the other?
Well, I think it's always important to know who the person is behind the brand and know their story and their why. I know people are becoming more conscious buyers, so they want to understand, you know, why have they created this product, and they want to see the passion from the person that's made it. That doesn't mean that person needs to always be the model. If you're really comfortable in front of the camera and confident and want to show off your brand and want to be kind of more of a, I guess, a little bit more of an influencer in your brand, then that's great. You could definitely model it yourself. A lot of people have built up their Instagram as being influencers, and from having such a big following gone, okay, well, I'm going to create a product because I might as well sell to the audience that I already have. And in that case, yeah, that makes total sense. But otherwise, hiring great talent is absolutely invaluable. I just think, you know, you've gone through all the effort of thinking up this product, you've tested it, you've got it, you found a manufacturer, you want to get it out there in front of people. You don't want to let yourself down at the very last point with not having great talent showing off your product, because that's how people are going to see it. And if you don't really invest in that last little bit, it's really going to let everything, all the hard work that you've done, let it all down.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I can imagine exactly what you're saying. After all that trouble that you go through, have a professional photo shoot, a model, or yourself, if that's your brand or how you choose to go.
Yeah, so if you decide to do photos of yourself,
Mhm.
have a great photographer that you know will be able to direct you and get the best shots. If you want to put more money into the talent, you don't have to spend as much on the photographer, I guess. So it depends, because I know it can be very expensive doing a photo shoot,
Yeah.
and if you go all the way, it can cost, you know, upwards of $10,000. But just knowing where you want to put your money and what's the most important element. So if you're not having talent, having a great stylist who can really bring together the right props and make your product come to life as well.
Absolutely. Now, I've noticed also that some business owners collaborate with influencers and then use the images provided by the influencers. So what are the pitfalls when doing this? When instead of hiring your own photographer and models or using yourself as a model, you actually use the images from influencers?
So I know this is quite a new thing, and I guess it's a great way to make social media content. But the pitfalls with that is you're not creating branded imagery that's going to be consistent with everything else that you've got. And that can be fine for your social media, but putting that on your website or in your marketing material, it's just not going to look really, it doesn't look like yours. You know, the influencer hasn't got the same vision as you. They're doing things to make them look good, not to make your brand look good. So firstly, that, then you also risk, you know, the photos not being good, them not being shot. And then there's a lot of people out there with thousands of followers, but with not much engagement. So if you were going to go down that road, I'd really recommend having a look at other brands that influencer's worked with and get in contact with them. Get in contact with those brands and go, you know, how did it work for you? Did you see a return on investment? And do the groundwork before diving in.
Yeah, I guess your photos are a reflection of your brand as well, and how you want your customers to feel about your product. So that influencer may not reflect your brand the way that you would like the brand to be reflected. So what are your tips for preparing for a photo shoot? What are important things that should be done before a photo shoot that people need to know?
So having a great vision for your photo shoot, and I love using Pinterest for this and collecting references from competitive brands, other companies that, you know, they might not have the same product as you, but they're doing their branding really well, or they've done a really cool photo shoot. It could also be things like, you know, nice houses that you imagine the person that was buying your product would like a house like that, or would go on a holiday to a certain destination. So you're creating like, yeah, a vision board altogether, which you can then pull together elements for a photo shoot. And then knowing what that vision is, have a look for a photographer whose style can really encapsulate what you want to achieve. Getting on the phone with them, making sure that you connect with them and they understand your brand. And then from there, putting together a really detailed shot list. So going, right, I want to have a banner image on the home page. We need to have 5 lifestyle images of each product. We need to have 3 e-commerce shots of it shot in different angles. So you've got it all laid out. And then ready to go, because I would put a lot of time into the planning, because you don't want to just rock up on the day with your products and expect the photographer to make magic for you. So I actually do that process with my clients. So I do a lot of the designing of a photo shoot, and because sometimes people, you know, you can't, we have to wear all the hats as a small business, but sometimes you do just need someone to help with that part. So I really love being a part of people's businesses and creating that vision with them.
Oh, that's excellent. That would be so helpful. I imagine that the preparation would be the hardest part, obviously. The photo shoot is pretty much on the photographer. So, yeah. Oh, that's excellent. And last question. What are the mistakes people should avoid when planning a photo shoot? What do they struggle the most with that you find?
What do they struggle the most with?
Mm-hmm. What mistakes you should avoid?
I think I've mentioned this a little bit, like making sure that you're working with a great team of people that are on the same page as you, so they understand the vision of the brand and what you want the outcome to be, and not working with a photographer just because they're cheap or something like that, because that's just going to ruin everything. Probably not planning enough. I've actually had a couple of clients come to me and they're like, I've already done a photo shoot. I didn't get the shots that I want. I'm not happy with them. Now I've got to do it all over again. So all those planning steps that I've talked about is just crucial to making your investment just perfect, like making your photo shoot come to life and be exactly what you want and need for your brand.
Yeah, I really can imagine that. Now, Prue, thank you so much for joining me today for this chat. It's been so informative, so good. Now, if people want to if people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Prue Aja Photography, and I'm also on LinkedIn and Facebook. I'm not on there as much, but definitely Instagram. You know, I share behind the scenes of my photo shoots and what I'm up to, and that's where I keep the conversation going.
Fantastic. I'll have all your information on the blog notes and also social media too. So if people want to find you and connect with you, they can definitely find all your details. Now, thank you so much for coming today again. It's been a huge pleasure.
My pleasure. It was great chatting with you, and I really hope people get something out of it.